Hello,
Got it.
everybody. Thank you so much to Margie Mays for joining us today, one of the stars of the new UpTV movie Lucky Hearts, but also a singer, a songwriter. You have done such incredible things so far.
You are so sweet. Thank you, Kiara. I am so excited to talk about this movie. This was like one of the highlights of my year, truly. And I'm really excited that it's finally coming out. I cannot wait to watch it. And I'm so grateful that you found me to do this interview. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, and tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Rosie Anne's character and the movie in general that fascinates you the most and also drew you to join this project?
Well, this was a funny one. So I'm sure actors say this all the time, or this might be be obvious, but I read a lot of scripts. Like anytime I'm nerdy in that way. Like some actors can read just the sides, like the shorter version of the audition for something and be like, okay, I know what to do with this. But I will geek out and be like, no, I really want to read the whole movie or the whole script or the whole episode. And in this one, I'll never forget. I was in my bedroom over here, and it was like late at night, and this audition came in for a movie called Lucky Charm. So the movie has, been retitled, and that happens a lot. But I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, like, and I never felt this way, but I was like, I feel like I am this character. Like I was like, oh my gosh, was this written to be me? Like even the dialogue, the way she just would kind of trip up on her words when she was getting just watching herself freak out or whatever it was, or all the spilling the character did. I was like, did this woman, I feel like I'm her. And then so that was what immediately drew me. I was like, this has never happened. That was the first time in my acting career that had happened. So that was what drew me to the character, to the story. And then I thought it was so cute. I love rom-coms. I just think, am I talking too much?
No, no, absolutely. Go
I'm a talk.
on. I could listen for you talking about this
Okay,
forever.
you can chop it up, or keep it all. But um, I don't know. I think so. I'm a newer actor. Like you said, I'm a singer first, actually. And so acting came about during COVID for me. I went through a big breakup and I just was sort of trying new things as one does. And when the world has ended, and then like my world inside my heart had ended, I thought, so I was trying new things. And acting came about, and I just got really curious about it, and I loved it. It was sort of like an itch that couldn't stop scratching. But one thing you learn, you study in class is like tone, tone, tone. You have to understand what world you're living in, right? Like, are you in a drama? Are you in a comedy? Are you in a grounded comedy? Are you in a sitcom? And it affects how you play the characters. And I just thought there was something about this world. You have to, that's what you really get when you read the full script. And I was like, I love her. And it was really fun. She owns a grassroots beauty company, and that's not something I do in my real life, but I was like, this is the coolest character I could ever imagine. Like the child in me was like, this is the movie I would love to watch growing up. So I love it. That's what
Yeah,
drew.
that must have been so fun and also challenging to like play something that you cannot relate to on real life, like owning a beauty company.
That's true. That's true. Right. Like that's very true. The audition piece that I auditioned with, it just was like a scene that was kind of simple, but it referred to like part of the conversation. It was between me and Simon, which is Alex's character,
Mhm.
and we were like getting honey for my lipsticks, but we talked about how I was pitching my company to a VC firm, a venture capital firm. And that is not something I'm familiar with, but I had to just, I remember like, and this sounds so silly or like conceited or something, but I remember looking back at my audition tape, and there was this moment where I was challenged because I was like, I really want to sell this moment where Simon's saying to me, you did such a great job at that pitch. And I was like, thinking as Margie, I'm like, I've never pitched to a VC firm. I am so not corporate in that way. But I just took the memory. I was like, all the audience has to see is that I was really seeing a moment in my life. And so I just took my original American Idol audition. I'm not kidding. And when he was like, you really crushed it, I at some point I'll post my original audition, but I was like, I was seeing the moment I lived when I went viral on Idol, and it just there was something about it because I was being truly myself, but it was the first time in my life I was really walking out on a limb and taking a crazy chance, and I kind of crushed it. Like that changed my life, and I used that moment, and I remember being really proud of it as an actor because I'm a new actor, so like substituting things is all of it's new, but I was like, this was meant to be. So
Yes, absolutely. And I hope so. And also, just like singing is a way to explore yourself in a new way.
yeah, 100%. It's I learn I've learned that um I've I've taken a liking to acting so much more than I ever realized because the more I study it, I think that's with anything, the more you study, the more you learn you don't know about it. I've really come to appreciate the craft. And I think it's so intellectual. And I'm a nerd. Like, I studied human biology in college. And I love that there's so much to study. I love it. And I really just, I learned so much about acting and about myself and about this character while doing it. It was a joy. Yeah.
And for all the fans that are looking forward to watching Lucky Hearts, how would you describe the movie if you had just like 3 words?
Lack of words is hard. Fun. I have to say fun. Fun, um, uplifting for sure. And it's just so hard. It just you're it's gonna make you smile. It's gonna make you smile. It's sweet. It's just sweet. I mean, I haven't seen the full movie. I only lived it, but from what I'm seeing of the clips, it is a classic rom com, a very lighthearted one, and it reminds me of. Did you ever see the Disney movie Luck of the Irish?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one thing that like I don't know if it's talked about in the descriptions of our movie online, but my name is Rosie Anne O'Brien, and I'm Irish, and I wear this. It's not this one, but I wear in the movie a little 4-leaf clover charm, and it's so cute. It spins like the costume was the best. I've never been so happy. I was in love with the costumes, but Jacob, shout out to you. That's the costume guy. He anyway, I carry this curse of the O'Brien family and where I bring luck and love to everyone around me. And that was really fun because that felt like such a movie thing. And then it was like,
Yeah.
I'm unlucky in love. And I can relate to that part. So that part was easy. But
So fun.
so fun. So fun.
And talking about the character, um, Rosie Anne, what can you tease about her? What can people expect from her journey throughout the movie?
That's a good question. I think that they can expect if they know me watching this, like if they came to this video knowing having seen me in something, I think that it's of all the characters I've ever played on stage or on film, this is the closest to me. This opportunity, it's such a special opportunity when you get to do a movie where these characters are coming to life for the first time. And it's different than TV because for TV, you come in and you have to match the tone of everybody else. This world was created by us, these actors, for the first time, and it's a lot of Margie. It's a lot of Margie. So if you're watching it, you'd be like, "Oh, I see Margie in a lot of that." This character spills a lot, and I spill. I have a full highlight on my Instagram. I spill every day, but she's she's really passionate about what she does, and it's it's sweet. But I just love her. I love her. She's so cool. She makes her lipsticks. I'm like, that is so not me. I could not actually do that in real life.
I'm sure we're all gonna love it.
Yeah, expect this. It's really similar.
Yeah. And in your opinion, what kind of message do you hope viewers will take away from this film?
I hope that the most important message to me is there are two things. One is that even if you're unlucky in love, something that this movie touches on is there is actually love all around you. That's something that I learned in my own life. When you get romantic love taken away, you start to notice the blessing is that your eyes open to all the love in your life elsewhere that is just as important and just as good and so beautiful. I watched this, like, I think it was Jay Shetty. It was somebody talking. I think it was Jay Shetty. He's the Think Like a Monk guy. And he was saying, everyone is so obsessed with romantic love, like finding the one. But if you think about the greatest acts of love that have ever, like the greatest sacrifices or acts of love done in history, it's not just romantic love. It is a mother for their child, or it's familial love. Like those are the ones that are the strongest of all time. And you see that in this movie. And Rosie Anne's really got so much love in her life. And then the other thing is just keep trying. Just keep trying. Always put yourself out there. Just because you've been unlucky in love, life starts at the end of the branches, and Rosie Anne definitely learns that. So, yeah, there's a lot of lessons. It's such a sweet movie. It's so sweet.
Great. And you gave such a beautiful answer. I mean,
Yeah.
and now let's get to the behind the scenes part of your work on this movie.
Yeah.
How would you describe your experience on set
Oh,
filming Lucky Hearts?
it was so much fun. Like I'm actually um on my Instagram, I tried to force myself just be like as a good business person and as a good memory keeper to make content. Like I'm like, no, Margie, you're sitting down. And I had filmed so much behind the scenes footage while I was on set because we were all having the most fun. It was the best cast, the best crew ever. We had the best time. And I think that's why it will really come through on the set, on the movie. We were just having the best time. Um, but I took all of my BTS footage from my phone and started editing it yesterday. And I had like 11 minutes of footage, but I'm cropping it down. And I was like, the whole time we're just laughing and joking and having a ball. I mean, down to the director. Like, John Murlowski is one of the greatest directors because they always say, like, it starts from the top. The people who are at the top, if they're kind and lovely, it just drips down. And he is the best. His favorite word, we always joke, Alex and I would joke, is zoink. Every time we would get a take, he'd be like, zoink. And I just, it was so lovely. Everyone got along. Like, I've had some really lovely sets and really lovely casts for sure. And this one is really near the top, if not my favorite. Maybe because also this was like a really special one because I got to be Rosie Anne and it was a special script. Yeah.
And that's beautiful to hear because, as you said, sets are not always like this. I mean, there are
Oh,
various kinds of sets, and to have such a beautiful and family environment working on a movie, I think it always makes the work easier for all of you.
it really does. And we got blessed too because it's a rom-com. Like um Alex does a lot of like thrillers and so does John Murlowski, the director. And of course everyone was saying like we prefer doing rom-coms because it's lighthearted. Whereas when you're doing a thriller or something scary or something intense, as an actor, there's a lot of preparation that has to go into doing those
Yeah.
kinds of scenes. And so it affects your whole experience. And I am very lucky that to get to have lived in a world of rom-coms for this time. I got to be joyous on the set and off the set. And that just fed into the character. It didn't take away. So we were so lucky, so lucky. Lucky charm.
Yes. And is there any particular anecdotes from the set experience that you want to share with us?
mm, I'm sure there's one of my like the funnier memory. I mean, there was a lot, but a memory that makes me laugh is so Have you ever watched an Up TV movie on TV? No.
No,
Then
unfortunately, but
it's okay. If you haven't, neither have I. But we learned this while filming that you know how like a TV movie will go to commercial break and
yeah.
it'll stop and the commercials will come on. So Up TV, I've learned this, just realized that like every time as they were tracking viewership, every time it would cut to a commercial, viewership would go down over the course of the movie. So
Yeah.
they decided to try this idea of like the movie's full screen obviously, and then when it cuts to commercial they make the movie like really tiny in the corner and it never goes away. And so while they're playing commercials, we would do like 4-minute segments completely silent. We never spoke. We were improvising
My
the whole.
gosh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. It's so
silent.
so interesting.
I know. We'd never done it. And so every commercial break, there will be like these 4-minute segments of me and whoever else was in the scene continuing the scene, but they were completely improvised and we don't speak. And like one time, and John, the director, were like, because 4 minutes is a long time to
Yeah.
improvise. He would be like, okay, run over there, run over to the thing. Like he would shout directions behind the camera. But sometimes like he would say something and my instinct would be to look towards him and then he'd be like, okay, you have to start over. and
No.
um and there was one segment I think where we were making pancakes. This might be two separate memories, but whatever. We were making pancakes and I was in this really cute pink dress that's actually on the cover of the movie. And the costume designer, he said, you have pancake batter, real pancake batter in this bowl. Do not spill on your dress. And I was like, don't worry, I got it. I would never. The Margie and me and the Rosie Anne and me, within one take, I got this massive, thick splatter of pancake batter on my dress. And he didn't have a backup. And he was so mad at me. But we made up. We love each other. But that was so Rosie Anne of me.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. The thing said flick the batter, and I did, and then it plopped on my dress. So those were two memories.
And working with Alex, how was it like for you working with him and building this incredible relationship between your characters?
Alex is so lovable. We got along the moment I met him, which was I think we were coming in for wardrobe fittings, and immediately we just started talking back and forth, and I was like, this is going to go well. The chemistry, because we didn't do a chemistry read or anything, so that was my first time meeting him once we both had the parts. We got along great. He's a dream to work with. I would totally do another rom-com with him. um we had a really good time. Like i, I feel like it was perfect. I would never replace him. I loved it. Yeah, we're still friends. Like, but we do have such a good time that sometimes we laugh too much. And there were a couple takes where it's probably mostly me, but I could not stop giggling. And we film these movies really quickly.
Yeah.
So John is like the nicest man in the world, but he would have to be like, okay, you have to stop laughing now. We have to get this scene. And I was like, okay. But we
Who's
had
the,
so much. Go
which
ahead.
one of you is the first who starts laughing? You.
100% me. 100%. Um, every time we tried to do a self tape together after, and I couldn't stop laughing. It's just something about his face makes me laugh in like the best way.
So fun. And just 1 minute. Now, what's next for you? After this movie, is there any upcoming projects that you have in the works?
Yes, there are some things. I mean, there's so many things on the table, but which is amazing. I was supposed to go do a pilot in a couple days, but like the TV pilot, and then the strike is happening, so that's really affected things. So that's not happening anymore, but I'm working on something to replace it, and I might actually get to go home for a little bit, which is for like a week, which is not like career related, but I'm really grateful for that because I live across the country from my family, and I've had the busiest year. Um, like 1 year ago today, I was doing Legally Blonde the musical, and that's kind of changed the game for me in the acting world. And I've been so blessed to be booked, 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 but I don't get to go home enough. And so that's happening. And then right after I come back from being home, I'm actually relocating I haven't told anyone this yet. I'm relocating to San Diego in California because I'm going to be Jane in Tarzan the musical, which,
Wow,
you know,
congratulations.
thank you. I am so pumped about that. I auditioned right in in January. I auditioned. I've never booked something so far in advance. So I found out while I was filming. I think I found out in February while I was filming on a sitcom, and I've been so excited. There's something about musicals. Like I love all of these. I think I cried a little bit when I booked Lucky Hearts for sure, but musicals. There's just because I'm a singer, it's the most magical place for me
Yeah.
to get to sing and
Yeah,
dance.
they're like a plus for you being both a singer and an actor now.
Yeah, and I get this real craving. Like I'm so lucky that am building this career where I've been booking so much. But sometimes if I do a job where there's no singing, I I miss it, and I'm like, you're not. Ugh, there's something I have to get on stage. So I'm so excited. Like that's the job where I'm like in my car and I'm like crying because I'm so excited about it. So that and the theater is one. It's like Broadway level. It's the closest thing to Broadway you'll get in Southern California. So I am so excited. That will be like June to August, and then to be determined. I'm releasing a song soon that's been years in the making, and I have a music video that's like a short film that I'm so excited about. And I think the blessing of the writer strike, might be that my music, I get to have a moment to work on my music.
Yes.
But if not, I love projects. I've learned in my age that I really, really love getting to work with other people and casts and crews and ensembles. It's what life is about. And I find making music is so, so special, but um, it, it's a little more isolating than I realized. Like the reality of being a singer
Yeah.
songwriter is more isolating than you think. And it doesn't have to be totally isolating, but it just can't compare to being on stage with a crew or making a film like this with the best people. And that was something that I learned, and I it was so refreshing to be like, wow, I prefer this. Because life is about enjoying it and spending it with beautiful people who you can love on and share gorgeous experiences with. I don't want to spend it in a studio just writing songs. But to someone who loves writing songs more than anything, that's what they should do. But for me, I really love telling stories, and that is singing. But I want to do it with other people. So I'm excited about the musical, and then to be determined. We'll see.
Yes, you're going to rock it. I'm sure of it.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited. Maybe there'll be a Lucky Hearts 2.
Never say never. We are hoping so at that as well.
I would love to do that.
And now our final questions. It's two questions that we always ask to the people we're interviewing. One, it's on the Lucky Hearts universe, and the other is more general on your career.
Okay.
First one, if you had the chance to play any other character on Lucky Hearts apart from Rosie Anne, which character would you have loved to play if you could, and why?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. Um, ah,
Even the male ones are accepted.
okay, okay. Oh, wow. That's hard because I feel like I love what everyone brought to their character. And is that influencing me? Um, oh my gosh. How did this stump me? I'm like trying too hard. I really do like the character of my best friend. Ann Patterson played my best friend, and I really do have a she's such a good best friend in this movie, and I've always read scripts, and um I'd love to one day like play like a quirky best friend who's just supportive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Anne did a great job, really great, and that she was so fun to work with. And her character is like, there's some silly things about her. She'll say stuff where I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And that would be a fun one to play. Otherwise, I can't answer it because it's too hard. It's too hard of a question. I don't know.
Don't worry, I know that.
What did Alex say? Did he answer that one?
He said, oh my gosh, the character Brian played.
Yeah,
I
that makes
don't
sense.
recall the name, but he said that. And also another one, but I can't remember right now.
He that makes sense. Mr. Werner or Mr. Lerner. They some of the names changed
Yeah.
throughout the iterations of the scripts. He was the mean boss, and it was a funny role. I could totally see him saying that. That makes sense. That
Yes.
yeah.
And now the very last one. Uh, if you had to give some advice to young people who want to pursue an acting career or a career in entertainment in general, what kind of advice would you give them based on your own experience?
Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna talk for too long. But okay, my advice would be one is like it's a heart thing. Don't be afraid of doing it. Life is so short. We're only guaranteed one of them, right? And we don't know how long it's going to be. And if you have a yearning to do it, you must try it. You must. And that's kind of on the like woo woo end, the philosophical part, because I spent a lot of my time being embarrassed to want to do something creative. I thought, why am I worthy of that? And I didn't believe I was, until I saw it happening in my own life, and then I realized it really. I'm having like a my throat. I realized that you can do anything you want if you bring a positive spirit and you're kind to people and you work hard and just show up and you're willing to learn. um, I really believe, and you're willing to put in the work, I really believe you can do anything. And then I would say, seriously, the best advice is just start doing it. Like, I literally, someone emailed me a random thing that was like, there's an open call for this random theater that no longer even exists out here in Hollywood. And I went and I had 2 songs in my songbook, and that's not a lot, by the way. And I walked in and I sang something, and I ended up in a gorgeous slew of events. I did Legally Blonde the musical, and all that was like changed the game for me. I was like, I invited all these agents and managers, like I had never spoken to an agent or manager ever, and then I got representation, and it started auditioning for movies, and it's just I shot out like a cannon, and a lot of it has to do with like working on my mindset to believe I'm worthy of this, and I am enough, and I can do it. When you believe, it's so powerful. But it all started just from like putting my stuff on like backstage these websites, and like doing little short films, and like flying out to Michigan and doing these projects and working with lovely creatives. It's like, I think there's a phrase where focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
Just start doing it. No project is too small to begin with. Like, and unless it's like a dangerous situation, don't do that. But like, no project is too small, and it just builds. It's a natural thing. I spent a lot of time in my young 20s worrying, like, would I do life correctly? Was I felt like I was never going to figure it out the way everybody else around me was. I really believed that. Like, I was going to slip through the cracks. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm doing it too. I am. It just, we're human beings, and we grow the way we're supposed to grow and at the rate we're supposed to. But if you want to do it, my one piece is you're totally worthy of it. You do have to work hard and study and do those things, but you can totally do it. And then the other thing is just start doing little projects. nothing is too small. Every project I've done, I've learned a lot. And I've done projects where I look back, I'm like, you were very green and not very good, but it, it's the best I could be on that day. And that's all that matters. And it's fulfilling. And you could be on a really huge set or a set that no one sees the thing you made. And it is just as valuable as an actor. And your heart, if you like really dig in, one of my acting coaches was like, um, doing good acting where you really dig in and you're vulnerable and you listen is like eating a really good meal, and it feels that way. I remember I walked out of the audition for Rosie Anne and I was like, that felt like a good meal versus like a fast food meal. So anyway, you can do it. That's my advice.
Thank you so much, Margie. It's been really
Oh,
a pleasure to chat with you about your work, and good luck with your upcoming project.
thank you so much, Kiara. And I hope everyone enjoys the movie.
Yes, let's remind people that Lucky Hearts airs Sunday, May 28th on UpTV, and
Yes.
let's all catch up this incredible movie.
Oh, thank you so much, Kiara. And
Thank
I hope you
you.
guys enjoy it.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, guys.